AA games occupy that sweet spot between indie passion projects and AAA blockbusters. They're ambitious enough to deliver rich experiences, but small enough to take creative risks. I've been tracking these Switch releases, and these 10 AA titles show exactly why this space is so exciting. Let's take a look. Let's start with Sea of Stars, a game that instantly transported me back to those late nights I spent playing classic RPGs under my blanket. But don't let its retro-inspired pixels fool you. This is a thoroughly modern experience. The developers have crafted this intricate combat system where timing your attacks just right can turn the tide of battle. What really got me hooked was how the game lets you play at your own pace. Whether you're a hardcore RPG veteran or just starting your journey, there's a way to tailor the experience to your style. I spent hours just watching the day-night cycle, seeing how it affects the environment with this gorgeous lighting system they've implemented. Ghostrunner caught me completely off guard. One moment I'm learning the basic controls, and the next thing I know, I'm wall running across neon-lit cyberpunk landscapes, slicing through enemies with split-second precision. The game demands your full attention. One hit, and you're done. But here's the thing, every death teaches you something new. The rush of finally mastering a particularly challenging section is indescribable. While the Switch version might not have all the fancy visual effects of its bigger console cousins, the core gameplay remains incredibly smooth and responsive.
These factories, everything they produce goes straight up to Dharma City. While the Keymaster and her lackeys live in luxury, we basers work our fingers to the bone our whole lives and don't see any of it.
How do you survive?
Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown feels like meeting an old friend who's completely reinvented themselves. The series has returned to its 2D roots, but with such style and confidence that it feels entirely fresh. Moving through the world feels like orchestrating an elaborate dance of jumps, slides, and combat moves. There's this moment early in the game where you acquire your first time power, and suddenly the whole world opens up in ways you never expected. The story kept surprising me with its twists, managing to honor the series' legacy while carving its own unique path. When I first booted up Zombie Army 4 Dead War, I wasn't sure what to expect. Sure, shooting zombies is fun, but haven't we done this before? Well, this game proved me wrong. There's something special about teaming up with friends to take on waves of undead in alternate history World War II settings. Each mission feels like its own mini-movie, complete with ridiculous set pieces and over-the-top moments that had me laughing and shouting in equal measure. The Switch version handles the chaos remarkably well, even when the screen is filled with shambling corpses. Unicorn Overlord might have an unusual name, but trust me, this game is something special. It's like someone took everything I love about strategy, RPGs, and kingdom management, threw it in a blender, and somehow created something entirely new. Building your kingdom feels meaningful, with each decision having real consequences on how your story unfolds. The tactical battles require genuine thought. It's not just about having the strongest units, but about understanding how to use them effectively together. There's this wonderful sense of progression as you watch your small band of rebels grow into a formidable force.
To arms! Not even close. Orders, Your Majesty? Received.
Hey, quick pause here. If you're enjoying this look at some of Switch's finest games, hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Let me know in the comments which of these games you've played or are excited to try. Now, let's continue with our lineup. Raincode pulled me into its world from the very first case. The game takes place in this perpetually rain-soaked city where mystery and supernatural elements intertwine in unexpected ways. Each investigation feels like peeling back layers of an onion, with clues and revelations that kept me guessing until the very end. The way the game transitions between the real world and these surreal mystery-solving segments is absolutely mind-bending. I found myself taking notes like a real detective, trying to piece everything together before the big reveal.
Surging bloodlust, overflowing despair.
The brilliant soul of Shinigami.
Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp brought back memories of intense strategic battles fought on long car rides, but with a fresh coat of paint that makes everything pop on the Switch's screen. The game doesn't try to reinvent the wheel. Instead, it polishes the already brilliant formula to a mirror shine. There's something deeply satisfying about positioning your units just right and watching your strategy unfold exactly as planned. The campaigns feature this perfect difficulty curve that keeps you engaged without ever feeling overwhelming.
So the Orange Star Army is launching a counterattack.
SnowRunner is unlike anything else in my gaming library. It's a game where getting stuck in the mud feels like a puzzle to be solved rather than a frustration. Every journey becomes an adventure, whether you're delivering supplies to a remote location or helping a stranded vehicle. The physics system creates these incredibly tense moments where you're literally on the edge of your seat, hoping your truck doesn't tip over as you navigate treacherous terrain. While the Switch version might have some frame rate dips in the most chaotic moments, the core experience remains incredibly immersive. The great Ace Attorney Chronicles transported me to a completely different era, mixing the familiar thrill of courtroom drama with the intrigue of Victorian-era London. The attention to historical detail is remarkable, creating this perfect blend of fact and fiction. Each case builds upon the last, weaving this intricate narrative that had me completely hooked. The new investigation mechanics make you feel like Sherlock Holmes himself, observing every detail and making deductions that crack the case wide open. Finally, there's Temtem, a game that clearly draws inspiration from other Creature Collection RPGs, but charts its own course with some bold choices. The online integration makes the world feel alive in a way that similar games often miss. Every encounter with another player brings an element of unpredictability and excitement. Training and evolving your Temtem becomes this personal journey of discovery, with each new creature having its own unique quirks and strategies. While the Switch version occasionally struggles with larger crowds of players, the core gameplay loop remains addictively engaging. These games represent just a slice of the Switch library, each bringing something unique to the table. What excites me most is how they're pushing boundaries and trying new things within their respective genres. They might not have the massive marketing budgets of bigger titles, but they've got heart, creativity, and most importantly, they're just plain fun to play.